Welcome back. If you're just joining us now, Mayor Jeff Mulligan is in the hot seat. Thank you so much again for coming in, Jeff Mulligan. We are just talking about business in Lloydminster. Now, we've been recently named, the top 25 places to do business in Alberta according to the Alberta Venture magazine. But among all this business interest, how do you also make Lloydminster a good place to live?
Well, I think my responsibilities and council's responsibilities is safe community, positive economy, those types of things, and providing options and accesses to extracurricular items, camping, the lakes, all of those things. It's got to be a full experience. So the last piece of that puzzle is, interestingly, arts and culture, and oftentimes gets left behind and out of the view. Recently, we just did a Mayor's Arts Award and awarded that first inaugural one to Ross Ulmer and the Ulmer Chev Group to really place that up there where it should be, because arts and culture, when we get multicultural, becomes a much bigger issue.
And Ross Ulmer, definitely a deserving candidate.
Oh, yes, for sure.
He worked very hard in the arts community here. Let's turn a little bit and talk a little bit about the rental issue in Lloydminster. No places to rent here. People coming here for a short-term basis, don't have the means to buy, have a hard time living here. What do you do from a city perspective, if anything, to rectify that problem? Well,
the crisis right now across most centres our size or bigger is that the $32,000 to $56,000 a year family income earners are stuck. They can't get into purchasing houses that would free up the rental market.
Right.
They're stuck in the rental market. And so what you're seeing now is initiatives by both governments, both provincial governments, and you'll see Saskatoon has done a pretty nice job on this, and we're just studying to see how we can help and get involved in that area. It's how can we get the $36,000 to $52,000 a year family income into a home and thus freeing up that rental market. You're not going to get a bunch of people to build rentals just for the sake of building rentals. Why would they, when they can build them and condominiumize them and they can make a bigger margin? It's free enterprise. We have to come out with programming and programs and partnerships that move the $36,000 to $52,000 a year family income into some home ownership.
How long does a process like that take?
Well, I mean, some of it can be quite immediate. I mean, there is inventory in that market space, but it's how do you innovatively get those people into housing that they can afford, and because they're good workers. They're people who are coming here, they're migrating into the city. They're providing essential services for those baby boomers and what have you, those of us that now need more services in a number of areas.
And they could be future homeowners as well, too, right?
We need to get them into there so we can free up the rental market, so we can bring more people to our community.
Let's talk, Mayor Mulligan, about a recent blog post you had. A recent one caused a pretty big ruckus, and I understand a lot of phone calls to your office about teens and vandalism. Is this a growing trend in our community?
Well, I think my point there was that too many people as parents, too many people say, well, what am I supposed to do? How do I control them? What am I supposed to do? Watch over them all the time? I don't know. 13 to 15-year-old kid at 3:30 in the morning vandalizing cars, breaking into houses and doing, yes. My answer is yes. You're the parent. Don't give me the line, it takes a community to raise a kid. It takes a parent to parent, first of all, and make sure they know where their kids are, 13 to 15-year-olds with hooded sweaters checking on doors at the middle of the night, doing vandalism and other things that are crimes against people in person. It isn't a growing problem, but it's a problem I don't think we want to be known for. My job is to make sure that it's a place people want to move to. They don't need to have that going on.
You raised the issue of should we put a curfew in Lloydminster? Is that something you're thinking seriously about?
Well, it's very expensive. I mean, you've got to have enforcement, you've got to have follow-up. But, if parents won't do the job that they need to do and they want to absolve themselves of responsibility, then I have an obligation to keep our community safe, and I'll do, in conjunction with my council colleagues, whatever it takes.
And it is an expensive venture to put a curfew in, right? You have to, you have to up police services on the streets. Should people, the innocent neighbors be responsible for doing that, for paying for that?
I sure hope not. So the thrust of my message and the messaging and the positive response I had was people saying, yes, Jeff, you're right on the money. Parents need to step up to the responsibility. It's their responsibility. They brought them into this world, and they need to care for them. And we cannot afford that. We don't want to do that. But I'll tell you what, if one company doesn't move to our city, or one great doctor, or one great leader, or one teacher, or one good family doesn't move here because of that, we got a problem.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Jeff. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
This has been our conversation with Mayor Jeff Mulligan.